It is the third day of the nation's trial. Jin's detectives bring in a box, which shocks Jin. And he asks in great surprise, "Is it really ready?" The officers reply, "Yes, sir, it is ready," and they tell that thanks to the back door you left while designing the secret area. Jin took the sandhu in his hand at the same time and opened it. Since it is an emergency single-use item, there is not enough time to inspect it, so there may be some problems with it. However, the master of the enhancement profession has confirmed that it is a usable item. The main feature of this scroll is that the Trial of the Nation consumable creates a portal to a command location within the Trial of the Nation secret area that lasts for 90 seconds. It should be noted that this scroll is an experimental product created in a hurry. The portal can be extremely stable. Hearing this, Jin thinks to himself that this is really unstable. And then the officer tells that Mr. Jin, we have been keeping an eye on Lu Fan for a long time. But the thing to note is that we have not found any unusual activity there. As soon as the officer finishes his statement. Hearing this, Jin gets angry and says that if you really haven't found any unusual activities, then it means you are an incompetent person. You are useless. While saying this, he was getting very angry and holds the scroll tightly and thinks in his mind that in such a situation I will have to do something myself. I have no other option except catching Liu Fan red-handed. Now I have to do something. And then he reaches this decision and says that I have to follow the final plan. Now I have no other option left except this. And then he looks at the officers with angry eyes and says that till I come back, both of you guard this slope, and make sure that no one is allowed to come here. Hearing this, the officer replies, "Okay, sir, we understand. Let's go." But then the other officer standing next to him asks, "Sir, what are you saying? I did not understand anything." But then he activates the scroll and a glowing portal opens in front of him. He enters the portal and says, "That's right, and now I have to use this scroll to enter the secret area and deliver the message." The system informs that the portal is extremely unstable and may close at any time. Noticing this, the officer immediately tries to stop Chairman Jin and shouts, "Mr. Jin, this could be very dangerous, please stop, or this is not just an experimental product. If other overseers notice you, it could cause a big problem for you if your live presence is captured on camera." Hearing this, President Jin gets distracted for a minute, but then says seriously, "So I have already informed the Chief Controller and the Director that no footage of the desert map will be shown until I return. Also, you have to protect this place. If this thing gets out, the reputation of the Thai nation will be tarnished. Do you understand what I'm saying, or not?" President Jin asks, pointing his finger at everyone. The two officers listen to President Jin and reply, "Okay, sir, we understand. But there is one more thing. Remember, activate the final mission now." And Lu Fan is currently researching the new 9-region Dan mission, and timing is very important. On the other side, our hero Lu Fan is in the desert of the National Trial secret area and looks at the status window, which lets him know that this time, there is an earth demon in the desert and the task is accepted. The current mission is to subdue the epic earth demon, which is level 85. Then Lu Fan gets the mission point, and he walks closer to it and sees a portal and says it seems like this time I don't have to look for Dark Peak. I found it without searching. Lu Fan got the next mission very quickly. But when he thinks about it, according to the rules of the competition, such high-ranked missions should be very rare. How come I am getting these so easily? Lu Fan suddenly feels something is wrong and thinks to himself, I accepted 3 machines yesterday, and they were all about subduing the earth monster. Lu Fan now realized that something was really wrong, and then he ordered Gog to accept the mission and fly away. And ordered Gog to quickly move towards the peak, and then he thought to himself that something must be wrong. It seems that these missions are being deliberately organized and told to me, while these missions are very rare in all. Lupin is now fully confident and adds that, as expected, the national competition is full of sneaky tricks. After flying for a while, a lot of animals appear in front of Lu Fan, and they are running very fast. But Lu Fan did not want to waste time, and then he calls Xiao Fei and Jin Chen at the same time and tells them that the break is over and they should get ready now. He orders Jin Chen to activate Star Settle at the same time. Jin Chen appears at the same time and activates Star Settle, which has a time limit of 1 minute. The specialty of this Star Settle is that it rips apart the space to create a portal to reach the target location, and this portal lasts for 60 seconds, and is not affected by any structure or curse. Jin Chen flies into the sky at the same time and prepares to open the portal. As he stops in one place, a blinding light is seen, and then he rips the sky with his claws, which opens a portal, and he enters the portal with all his dragons. As soon as Lu Fan entered the dark peak, he jumped to the ground and then stood up and looked around. He looks around. The scene around was very scary as there were demons everywhere. Here Lu Fan was seen along with all his dragons. At some distance, a huge throne was seen on which a dangerous dragon was sitting whose teeth were sharp like a lion and the tail was very deep like a crocodile. At the same time, the demon senses Lu Fan's presence and then comments in a very deep voice. "Hey Lu Fan, are you in my territory? Hate him, you have come here with the intention of trespassing." He does not hiss after saying this. The system reveals that this dangerous demon is known as the Earth Demon and that it is level 85 and has a strength of 42.151. Lu Fan gets ready to attack. He then takes out his dragon sword and comments, "I'm sorry for intruding. But unfortunately, the one who will die here is you." Lu Fan then summons the dead last puppet, which he had turned into a puppet after killing the previous Earth Demon, and then orders him to fight. As soon as he appears, he understands Lu Fan's order and replies, "I understood, Master." Lu Fan then summons the previous Earth Demon, who had turned into a fallen corpse. Lu Fan summons the spirits of the dragons at the same time. All the dragons and Earth Wizards who had turned into puppets stood near Lu Fan and roared. And Lu Fan ordered everyone that, "Okay, let's finish this quickly. Because I have less time, kill it quickly." Lu Fan could control all those puppets and control all the undead transformed people. And the fallen corpse could be summoned or recalled by the Emperor Dragon at will. Any dead would return from the fortress to the energy pool of the fallen dragon, inside the National Trial Secret Realm. "Please, don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I can give you all my points, as long as you let me go back. I will admit defeat and leave immediately." A dark-skinned knight knelt on the ground, a spear broken into 2 pieces lying beside him. From the information above his head, one could see that this person was the representative of the Mick country. He was quite strong and ranked 14th on the point leaderboard. However, his current kneeling appearance did not have any of the appearance of being the admired heroic representative of his country. Of course, he couldn't be blamed for this, because in front of him stood a small mustachioed man, smiling and holding a samurai sword to his neck. The representative of the Mick country was very clear about the power of this sword. If the other party was willing, cutting off his neck would be as easy as lifting a finger. Cherry Blossom Country representative Musashi Ten smiled, lightly clutching the samurai sword in his hand. Instantly, the sharp blade cut into Mick country representative's neck, causing blood to flow. Musashi Ten said with a smile, "You are so unlucky to bump into us. Why don't we kill you? As for your points, we can get them after we kill you. It's all the same thing. I don't mind extending my sword a little further to cut off your head. Don't you agree?" Mick country representative was almost crying. He wanted to run away desperately, but besides Musashi Ten beside him, there were also 7 or 8 terrifying-looking abyss summoners watching him like tigers tracking their prey. Jin Chengin sat on an abyss crawler and watched Musashi Ten torture him with boredom. Run away? How could he escape? He just hoped that they would show mercy and let him go from the national trial. Even if he was labeled a deserter, it didn't matter as long as he could save his life. With his talent and strength, he would definitely have a good future as long as he lived. "Please, let me go. I'll do whatever I want." The representative of Mick country was crying uncontrollably. If it wasn't for the samurai sword on his neck, he would have been bowing down and begging. Musashi Ten clicked his tongue and said, "Should I let you go?" "Well, it's not impossible." After a pause, he smiled maliciously. "But you have to do what I say." When the Mick country representative heard this, he immediately became excited as if seeing hope for survival, saying, "All right, no problem. As long as I can live, I'll do whatever you want." Musashi Ten nodded with satisfaction, a malicious smile appearing on his face as he said, "Good. Now, say loudly with me, our Mick country people are all trash. We're the grandsons of Cherry Blossom Country's people." The Mick country representative was stunned, saying with difficulty, "Well, this—" Dissatisfaction flashed across Musashi Ten's face as he asked, "What? Don't want to say it?" The Mick country representative gritted his teeth and said, "How can I say such a thing? Our Mick country's delegates are watching everything in the observation room right now. If I say such a thing, I would be insulting all of Mick country." "Ha ha ha!" Musashi Ten's laughter interrupted the Mick country representative's words. "It's precisely because your delegates are watching everything here that this is so interesting, isn't it? I can't wait to broadcast the scene of you kneeling down and calling us Cherry Blossom Country people your grandfathers. I can't wait to let everyone see it." "You," the Mick country representative was burning with rage, his eyes full of humiliation. However, he only managed to say one word before Musashi Ten slightly pressed down with his blade, making him dare not speak further. Musashi Ten spoke in a completely nonchalant tone. "You can choose not to say whatever I just told you, and let me kill you quickly instead. Perhaps, in the end, those of Mick country might consider you a hero who chose death over surrender. Well, that is if you weren't kneeling right now. In any case, the choice is yours. Say it, and we'll let you go. Don't say it, and I'll kill you with one strike." After speaking, Musashi Ten watched the Mick country representative, applying slightly more force, making the blade cut a deeper wound in his neck. The pain from the wound made the Mick country representative hesitate, but finally, his resolve broke. Seeing Musashi Ten already gripping his sword hilt with both hands, ready to behead him, the Mick country representative finally shouted with a trembling voice, Don't do it. I'll say it. I'll say what you want me to say." Musashi Ten smiled until his eyes narrowed, and indeed lifted his blade. "Very well, go ahead and say it." The Mick country representative, with utter humiliation, knelt and shouted, We Mick country people are all trash. We're Cherry Blossom Country's grandsons. Is that good enough?" Musashi Ten picked at his ear, dissatisfied. "Just that? Louder. I couldn't hear anything." Left with no choice, the Mick country representative could only increase his volume and continue shouting what Musashi Ten made him say, his face red with shame. Musashi Ten was finally satisfied, a twisted smile appearing on his face. Jin Chengyan watched all this from the side, shaking his head with impatience. He had long known that people from Cherry Blossom Country had some kind of pathological hobbies. He had not expected Musashi Ten to be the same, and have such vulgar and boring taste. Presumably this scene had already been witnessed by Mick country's delegates. In their observation room, there must be a few people boiling with rage. It was precisely because of this that Musashi Ten felt excited. For some reason, many of those from Cherry Blossom Country had a unique view of the world. It would not be wrong to say that their minds were twisted to the extreme at least, from the view of outsiders. Just as Musashi Ten was enjoying himself, Jin Chengyan suddenly caught sight of something in his peripheral vision, his brows slightly furrowing. An abyss summoner suddenly darted out from the side, biting down on the Mick country representative's body. The Mick country representative only managed a single cry of anguish before being directly devoured by the abyss summoner. Above Jin Chengyan's head, his points changed, surging upward to reclaim second place. Musashi Ten had been thoroughly enjoying himself, but now that his toy was gone, he became immediately dissatisfied. Sheathing his katana, he asked Jin Chengyan, "Jin-san, what are you doing? I was not done having fun yet. Why did you kill him?" Jin Chengyan dismounted from his abyss crawler while rolling his eyes. He would have died sooner or later anyway. Better to do it early and save the trouble. Besides, I don't believe you would have actually let him go. After all, those of Cherry Blossom Country are always utterly heartless in your actions. Ha ha ha, being called utterly heartless did not anger Musashi Ten. Instead, he burst out laughing. This was firstly because Jin Chengyan was correct, and secondly because Musashi Ten knew this was Jin Chengyan's way of getting back at him. After all, he had frequently brought up how Extremisty's country lacked competitive spirit throughout their journey. The two were birds of a feather, just exchanging banter and pointing out each other's flaws. Musashi Ten continued, "Though I definitely would have killed him, didn't we agree earlier that I would be the one to do it? You suddenly striking and snatching the kill must be to grab the points, right? I think since we're already allies, we shouldn't be so petty." Jin Chenghin gave him a sidelong glance and added, "I didn't kill him for the points. You were being too slow about it. Keeping the Mick country representative alive would have let their delegates see things they shouldn't see." As he spoke, Jin Chenghin controlled the Abyss Summoner beside him to move its body, revealing a transport array hidden behind it. In front of the transport array stood a person. It was Jin Zayan. "Second uncle." Jin Chenghin walked forward and bowed. "You coming in at this time, do you have some information you want to share with us?" Jin Zayan nodded, glanced at Musashi Ten, and without speaking to him, said to Jin Chenghin, "Let's talk privately. The transport array is unstable. I need to quickly tell you all that I know and then leave." Meanwhile, as the fallen corpse puppets grew in number, Lu Fan gradually became more familiar with controlling them. Generally speaking, pets could not stray too far from their master. However, fallen corpse puppets did not have this restriction after receiving orders. They could move freely, going as far from Lu Fan as they wanted. Lu Fan gradually developed a new way to use the fallen corpse puppets. Instead of having them follow their dark castle's movement, he dispersed them to kill any monsters they encountered. This way, he could remotely collect experience points and points. Although Lu Fan could not control these fallen corpse puppets any better, he did not care. He had tens of thousands of them. Sending them to fight in the north and south, their life or death did not concern him. After careful planning, Lu Fan only kept the 3 of the 9 hell demons by his side, and all major fallen corpse puppet bosses were stored in the puppet subspace. Later, when Lu Fan encountered enemies, he could summon them to help him kill his foes. Besides the major bosses, the last wave of monsters from the 3 dark castles, level 75 gold grade bosses, were also kept by Lu Fan to use as cannon fodder. As for the other monsters, Lu Fan did not think much of them. On the other side, the Earth Bloodbender was also ready for battle. The system showed that it was level 85, and its main power was Phantom Tiger Step. The main feature of this power is that it instantly transforms into several transparent and twilight illusions around the player. They appear randomly with each attack. The illusions explode and disappear, causing heavy magical damage in the area of effect. And the second power is the Thunderclaw Strike, which explodes on the ground with the reconstruction of thunder, forming cold crystals. This destruction then generates a massive electrical shock wave, causing massive electrical effects. And the third main power is known as Soul Hunting Tiger. Targets killed by Soul Hunting Tiger explode into soul fragments, permanently reducing their maximum health by 60%. During this time, the target's healing effects are reduced by 30%. Earth Blood Demon. At the same time, Thundercoat strike on him and quickly moves towards him. Lu Fan stands very calmly, and he is also preparing his attack. But just as the Blood Slave Demon gets close to him, the Earth Demon grabs him tightly at the same time. And then she uses the Death Coil power at the same time. This power has the ability to create chains using her body and limbs and bind and immobilize enemies, which inflicts side effects, poison, and stunned effects. The limbs inflict tearing damage, which increases the level of damage. Seeing that this is also an Earth Demon, he becomes very angry and glares at the Earth Demon. "Why are you doing this? Why are you helping a human?" He did not know that he was being made a puppet by Lu Fan and was following his orders. And then he uses Blood Claws at the same time, which uses the claws to rapidly rip apart the target and inflict heavy damage. It also increases his strength by 200% for 12 seconds. Saying this, at the same time the Earth Demon comes near him and attacks his face with its claws, due to which he gets badly injured and falls on the ground. But the next moment he takes his last breath and dies. The system shows that the Blood Demon is now dead. Also, the system shows that Lu Fan's score has been increased by 36,718 points. Lu Fan smiles seeing this, and then he comes to the Earth Demon with his sword and says, 2 9 demons are already so powerful, and if 9 attack together, what will happen to you?" Now Lu Fan had a very large army.